So Jo, you've been in post for about, 16 months now, and there have been many challenges along the way, but how important is today's milestone and the launch of the UKA Operation Plan for the sport?
It's really important. I think it's really important for me because I still feel like a new CEO, and it's really important for the executive team because we've worked on this now for a year and it is a new plan for the sport. We've kind of looked at what's been done before, and I think this is the first time really that UKA has had a proper plan for a long time. So it's the kickstart really of the future of the sport for us.
And we saw last autumn that obviously UK Athletics, alongside the home country athletics federations, Athletics Northern Ireland of course, England Athletics, Scottish Athletics and Welsh Athletics, launched the Athletics Unified Plan. So how do these two plans, why are they different and how they're going to work together?
So Athletics Unified is absolutely the plan for athletics across the UK, where the five of us will come together. We've agreed on three really distinct goals. Our first one, goal number one, and hopefully everybody's read our Athletics Unified strategy. I'm sure you have, Kath, obviously. Goal number one is all about representation across more disciplines. Right. And for para, it's more about winning even more medals, which is just fantastic. Goal number two is all about the structure that supports the sport. So it's all about the clubs, the competition, the officials. And the third one is all about recreational running. So that's just about moving 7 million recreational runners to 9 million. So Athletics Unified is really a plan for the entire sport. What we're launching today and why we're so excited is this is the bit that UKA can deliver. This is the bit that only we can do and the home countries have asked us to do. So it's a very specific plan for us. It delivers predominantly for goal number one, as you would imagine, because it's about performance, but it also delivers against goal number two and explains our responsibility for goal number three.
Wow.
It's quite something.
How did you go about developing the plan though? You know, who did you work with? Who did you consult to make this happen?
So I think when I first came in post, everybody just kept saying to me, athletics is a massive sport. And I was just like, it's okay, we'll still be able to do this. But when you break it down, it's so many disciplines within one sport. So we went out and did lots and lots of consultation. So when I first started, lots of athletes picked up the phone to me, which was brilliant. We've done focus groups, we've done webinars. I've had lots of chats with different individuals to get their opinion on what the sport should or shouldn't do. And this constant theme about it being such a big sport came through. So when we sat down, we just thought, let's break this into bite-sized chunks. Let's work out how we can break this down and build bespoke plans for each of the different disciplines. And once we started to do that and we started to ask different focus groups, do you think this is the right way to go? We got a really positive response. So kind of in the 90% people were like, yes, that's what needs to happen. So you take all that insight, you take everything you've learned, and we sit down as an executive team and we start to plan that out. And what we've launched today really is kind of post all of that consultation, the plan that hopefully the athletics community can really see what they've fed back to us now in an operational plan.
So let's start then with the overall approach. So how does today's plan help create that sustainable future for athletics within the UK?
So it very much, we've based it on three pillars. And our pillars are athlete first. We are absolutely here to make sure that we deliver everything for the athlete. There has to be mutual respect there, but we really are here to serve the talent of our athletes. The second one is all about the structure that we need to create. So our second pillar is our superstructure. And that's everything around building a new coaching strategy. Came through very clearly that we needed a new coaching strategy that also includes valuing our coaches. It's not just a transactional relationship. Very much around our officials and development of our officials. We needed to make sure that we had a competition structure that was at the right point within an athlete pathway. Again, came through very clearly that there was something missing between what we have now and a Diamond League. We need to look at our commercial sustainability. There's been a lot of talk about whether or not we're financially sustainable, and we truly believe we can commercialise the sport. And then we're going to sit everything on our healthy organisation, which is all about our staff, our leadership, equality, diversity and inclusion. And that's really the basis of our plan.
We've heard that expression, athlete first, a lot, but can you summarise to somebody who hasn't had the chance yet to pick up the plan and read it what that means?
Yeah, I think sometimes it means different things to different people. Athletes that we've spoken to, quite often they've said we don't want to be a commodity anymore. They felt like just a number, and we want to change that. So we want to build athlete trust, and we want to know that we really appreciate what they do. That's one of the first things. The second is about making the environment right for our athletes. It really does need to be, I think, personalised. We need that coaching infrastructure right, the competition infrastructure, and we need to listen to the athletes so that we provide what they need. It's very different from participation. Participation, you deliver what people want. In an elite environment, you deliver what they need. So it's very much looking at their needs. And all our decision making must be geared to making sure that their needs are completely fulfilled. But I do come back to this term that there has to be a mutual respect. Some athletes said back to us, but Jo, don't create something where we think we're gods and we get whatever we want. That's not what it's about. It's about taking all the insight that we've learned and creating the right environment, the right understanding and the process so that athletes can really flourish. There's two other things for me as well, very much about it being a safe environment and showcasing actually the fact that, we are now a clean sport. UK Athletics does an amazing job around clean athletics. So telling that story that our athletes are clean.
We've heard about the discipline-specific events and the activities in the sport before, and there have been pockets of this happening already, hasn't there, when you look at the British Milers Club. But the operational plan clearly aims to make a discipline-specific event a big part of how the sport operates moving forward. Tell us more about what we can expect.
Yeah, we think this is a really important part of the plan. So when we look at a bespoke plan and a discipline-specific approach, we're looking at what's the right coaching infrastructure, are the facilities right, how do we communicate that discipline, how also might we be able to commercialise it, and then the really important point is this piece around competition. There was lots of talk about broadcast, whether we're going to be on the BBC, whether we're not on the BBC, what we're going to do. But we really believe that to drive a broadcast property moving forward, we need to have shorter events, more discipline focused. We think that's really important from a broadcast perspective. But again, coming back to athlete first, we didn't want to do that if that wasn't what the athletes wanted. So we went and asked the athletes, and they said that they would love that, shorter format. And it also means that we can build role models for specific discipline event groups. We know that some athletes, particularly I think from the throws and jumps community, don't feel like they are treated the same as those that appear on the track. So if we can focus on those different disciplines from an event perspective, we can grow them as role models. So it is really, really key to what we want to do moving forward. Even our officials, and we can't do anything without our officials, are like, 8 hours, sitting somewhere for 8 hours with no food and no drink is not fun. So all the insight again that we've got says shorter format, it's what our athletes want, it's what broadcasters want, it's what our wonderful officials want. So we are definitely going to be testing some stuff moving forward. But like you said about the BMC, working with existing providers, there's so many people doing this brilliantly well. We could partner with them and just help shape that into a more broadcastable product.
There's a big piece in the plan talking about superstructure of the sport, making the sport structures, run properly. And of course, that's incredibly important. What struck me was the huge emphasis, quite rightly, you've already touched on it, Jo, about safeguarding as the centrepiece of this area. Tell me how that's evolved and how it's going to be different as you're moving forward.
Yeah, well, firstly, the thing I want to say is it's going to be very, very, very different.
Yeah.
We are a national governing body. Some people, I think of us as just elite athletes and major events. We're not. We are a national governing body, and safeguarding is a really important piece of being a national governing body. And post the Quinlan review, we were obviously given the responsibility for safeguarding across the UK. Our board has signed off zero tolerance, and we will be able to enforce, stronger sanctions that potentially have been enforced previously. And you cannot say that you are a world leading governing body unless the athletes, the coaches and officials all feel safe in the environment that they're in. So we've already started quite a lot of work around that. We've got a new reporting mechanism through My Concern, and as soon as you create an environment where people feel safe to come forward, you are automatically going to get more people coming forward. But we are pleased about that, because that's how we'll sort the sport out. We've updated all our policies and procedures. I know some people get a bit bored, don't they, about hearing about policies and procedures, but you can't govern as a sport unless they're in place. So we've changed all of that. And now it's really about educating people around their behaviours to make sure that this is a safe sport. So we don't want to be lagging behind when it comes to safeguarding. We want to be absolute leaders in this field, and I think with what our safeguarding team have done, I think we will in sport be leading in this.
Now, events are clearly, obviously, still a big part of UKA's plan moving forwards, which obviously gets a big thumbs up from me. Good. Superb. And it's great to see that UKA has ambition to still hold these big events and still bid for these major championships. Why, from your point of view, Jo, is that important?
I think it's really important. You know, as I say, we need to create new competition, but it's so important to host major events. They are the times when the country comes together and is galvanised behind a sport. So for us, people cheering on the GB and NI team is really important. It helps us showcase our role models. And when it comes to goal 3 of Athletics Unified, which is all around general participation, people do see things like this and then they put their trainers on and they have a go. It will increase participation. And then for goal number 2, where we want more people to affiliate to track and field clubs, if youngsters don't see our athletes on the biggest stages wearing that GB and NI vest, how are we going to encourage more people to join clubs? So it not only gives our elite athletes that amazing opportunity in front of a home crowd, but it helps us grow the participation in track and field clubs and general recreational running and pushing.
Yeah. We know that athletics is, which I love, statistics and really, it's a really data-rich sport, isn't it? But we also know that sports vary in how well they use the data that they have, and it's great to see throughout the plan that, you know, the data and the insights is being championed at every single level. So can you give us some examples of how this will make a difference to the sport across all areas of the plan?
Yeah, so I think athletics used data before, and you'll know this, to kind of pick who runs, who's involved in different events, looking at ranking and so forth. But we're going to use it much more from a general business perspective. So there will be lots of things, even from our recruitment, we'll be looking at data from through an ED&I lens. When it comes to talent, we'll be tracking how many talented athletes we have across specific disciplines at specific age groups, competing at what levels. We'll then look at our coaching data and say how many coaches do we have that are relevant to coaching different age groups, different abilities across the different disciplines, and how do we grow more of those coaches. So it's across every single area. Obviously we will use data when it comes to finance and commercial, but we will use that across absolutely every area so that we build a consistent plan. It's a really systematic approach to creating, really, and we've used this term before, rewiring a sport. We'll also use it to manage the sport and then showcase back to the sport whether or not we've done what we said we're going to do. So we hope that, well, we don't hope, we will, a couple of times a year, we will showcase back to the sport a dashboard that said, we told you we'd have this many more coaches at this level, this many more athletes coming through at a talented level, win this many medals, hit this many commercial targets, and we'll showcase that back to the sport. And if we're not doing what we said we'll do, the sport can hold us to account. So it's really important, not only from instructing how we make decisions, but then also how we monitor and evaluate whether or not we're actually delivering on our promises.
It's here, and you're ready.
We are very ready. We know it's ambitious. We know it's not going to be easy. We have a dedicated team, but yeah, we want to welcome you all to the age of the athlete.
Brilliant. Thank you, Jo.
Thank you very much.